Hi Virgo, thank you for being patient. You're the last one on my list this month. It won't always be like that. I will rotate them. This is a forecast for April 2017. April brings the start of a new season. Spring in the northern hemisphere, autumn in the southern. I hope these energies work well for you. It also brings in the new celestial yearly cycle and a new 9-year cycle. So things that we focus on and start making tracks towards attaining at this time can be things that will run into our long-term future. Prior to coming online, I shook a feng shui fortune telling stick. Just gently shake them until one comes out. It is very loud, so I like to do that off camera. The stick that we got was number 3. Each stick contains a snippet of information for you that may be relevant in this month. Yours is beware of behaving extravagantly. So are we looking at good times and having a bit too much of a good time, Virgo? Let's see. The number 3, the third date, may be of importance to you. 3 in the zodiac houses. The third house is ruled by Gemini, so we may have a Gemini who is of some significance to you. But this house deals with communication, travel, transportation, neighbours, siblings, self-expression. So it may be within one of those areas that we need to focus. The number 3 in tarot comes back to the Empress. Now the Empress talks about fertility, material wealth, domestic stability and maternal care, creativity in all things, and security and growth. It can talk of marriage and pregnancies, and it can be a reflection back to the mother, the maternal nature within us. In numerology, it's the meaning of the superhuman. It symbolises the exuberance of life. It talks about growth and development. It's very much the spiritual being having a human existence. All that being said, we will go into your reading. The cards deck I'm using today is my original 80s Mythic Tarot. I've used these cards for over 30 years. As you can see, they are battered, but they are my babies. The reading I'm going to do today is one I've devised myself and using personal readings, though it does have a lot more cards in it. I call it Messages to Myself or to Ourselves, and it consists of 12 cards. 3 for mind, 3 for body, 3 for heart, and 3 for soul. Each card, each line will give us little messages regarding each aspect of our being throughout the month of April, things to be aware of, or things to acknowledge within ourselves, things to focus on, or things to pat our backs, give ourselves a pat on the back for completing. So the first line, Spirit. These 3 cards represent what our intuition, our higher self, spirit guides, however you resonate to connect with the universal energies. 3 messages, 3 cards containing 3 messages that Spirit wants us to be aware of or appreciate in the month of April. On the second line, we have the body line. This line consists of 3 cards that represent our physical environment for the month of April. So it may be 3 things we physically have to do. Our physical body is what condition it is in the moment, or what is physically going on around us in the month of April. For Virgo, please. 3 cards for Virgo. The next line, the 3rd line, represents our heart. This line consists of 3 messages that our heart wants us to focus on our journey, acknowledge, or give ourselves a pat on the back for. And the final line, the soul line. 3 cards, 3 messages regarding what our soul wants us to focus on, appreciate in our soul's journey. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Pentacles. This is the overall energy for the month of April. Now, the 2 of Pentacles talks about juggling multiple things. Maybe we have got a lot going on in the month of April. But this card, even though it says we're multitasking, we're juggling a lot of things, we are actually capable of doing it, and we're doing it all right. We're not going to be dropping the ball. So even though we may have a lot on our plate, we're handling it well. The first card, message from Spirit, is the 10 of Swords. Now the 10 of Swords, it being a 10, means we've done a major cycle. We've completed. We've worked through the Swords cards from 1 to 10. The 10th card speaks of a new beginning, of clearing away all the old and starting again. All these swords are feelings of being betrayed, stabbed in the back, lied to, deceit, judgments we've made, judgments that have been made upon us. But this card does show a point of no more. We realise what this kind of energy, this kind of mindset, and how we react to things that happen around us, negative things, can break us down. It's now a time to see them for the truths that they are, pull them out, and walk away to start again. A realisation that, bad things happen, but it's time to let it go, show forgiveness, be it to yourself, if not even to anyone else, though to everyone else as well, and move on. The second card that Spirit wants us to be aware of is the 2 of Wands. Now the 2 of Wands speaks to our passions. We have some passionate desire and we want to expand on it. Now we've already gone from 1 to 2, so it's seeing possibilities now. We've got 2. We can do twice as much with the ones that we've got. But sometimes it does signify maybe we need to go and seek counsel on what possibilities are available to us, or what is the best possible route to make the most of these now 2 ones that we have. It's not necessarily going to see seeking counsel from somebody else. It could be seeking counsel from within ourselves, taking a little bit of time to think about things and look at all possibilities that are available to us in the near future. The last card Spirit wants us to be aware of is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups can signify Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer that's around. That could be helpful in our spiritual journey. It doesn't have to be a female. It could be a male. It could be yourself, even though you are an earth sign. You could be in a situation in your life or a part of your life where you are connected to your emotions. You are sat in your emotions. You're feeling your emotions, but you're quite all right with it. You know, you've got them under control. This is a kind, compassionate woman. It's living from the heart center. It's exuberating love, trust, and a trust in ourselves. First message for the physical is the Lovers. And the Lovers can refer to a Gemini, which actually Gemini came up on your Feng Shui stick. So there may be a Gemini in the physical around us. We may have Gemini somewhere else in our chart, and we've got to live more into that energy. Excuse the kitty there. But the Lovers talks about a choice, an emotional choice that's got to be made. We may have three options in front of us, not necessarily love. It may be a work situation, but we've got various options available to us. And there's a risky choice to be made. It's not something we can run into lightly and just choose and it'll all be all right. We've got to look at the truth of the matter. We've got to feel from our heart about the situation, and we have got to use our intuition in the situation. So physically, in our environment at some time in April, we are going to have to make a choice of some kind. And this card makes us aware that we must think about this choice before action. You know, so we do make the right choice to move forward. The second card we have is the Four of Cups. Again, this is an emotional card. It's being in touch with our emotions, but it's boredom, dissatisfaction. There may be gossip and slander around. We may be involved in gossip and slander. So it's a card of warning. If we're feeling bored and discontent, we've got to look inside ourselves and find out why. You know, usually with this card, there's something else being offered. We're just not seeing it because we're that focused on being in the rut that we're already in. Or we're letting other people talk us round to their way of thinking. If it is gossip, be careful of gossip, because what comes around goes around. The final message for the physical is the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands talks about moving. You know, we're in a very turbulent place. Again, waters our emotions, but we're in a very turbulent place. We've got a lot of passion for something, but we've got obstructions with our emotions. So the Nine of Wands talks about setting sail into clearer, calmer emotions to ignite our passions. I think that's about it on there. The first card from Heart is the World. Now, the World is the last card in the Major Arcana, and this speaks of we have done a full cycle of something. We have completed a full cycle of some kind. It could be a passionate desire. It could be our thoughts, clarity of speech. It could be our emotions, or it could be something in the physical realm. Our home, our family, our relations. But we come into May and the new start, completing a cycle of some kind, ready to start off on a new cycle of experience. Next to that, the heart gives us a message of the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles does refer to the materialistic world and our environment around us, but this card speaks of equal give and take. You know, intuition and confidence and self-love and knowing what we're investing in has as much invested in us too. It's a card of good balance and equal exchange. And the final card from the heart is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles talks about working with somebody else, being appreciated by somebody else, or somebody else aiding us to expand something in our maybe work environment. It could be to do with work, but something that is tangibly in our environment. It could be a family situation, it could be a romance, but it's one or more people coming together to make something happen and get it to grow to the next stage. The first card our soul wants us to acknowledge is the Chariot. Now the Chariot talks about having the right balance, the right temperament for moving forward. We see he's there, he's driving the chariot, and really with no effort whatsoever. But if he doesn't keep his mind on it, these two horses are going to go in different directions. The black horse represents the yin and feminine energy within us, and the white horse represents the yang and masculine energy. So whenever I look at this card, I think this just says, look, having equal balance of the masculine and feminine energies within us, having all the lower masculine chakras and the higher feminine chakras working in balance with one another. So us being in a true alignment to who we actually are means we can move forward with relatively with relative ease and not have to struggle to get these two entities to move forward in the right direction. Chariot does talk of travel, and it does talk of transport. So there could be the thoughts of buying some new form of transport or changing a form of transport in the month of April. It could just be now is the time to get going. The next card we have is the Three of Wands. I thought we'd already got 2 threes, but we haven't. This just makes our second 3. So the Three of Wands again. You know, it's about our passions. It's something we're passionate about and we want to expand it more. Now, maybe there is help from somebody else, but it's cooperation of 2 people at least that can build this passion to make it more. Maybe we're wanting to make a passion some kind of a career prospect, because we have got the Three of Pentacles as well. But it's about growth and expansion. So being open to working with others, listening to their input. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to take their input, but listening to their input or sharing a passion with somebody else can lead to growth in that area. And the final card we have is Justice. Now the Justice card does talk about legal situations. It can talk about court cases, things like that. She holds the scales of balance and the sword of truth. We have the wise owl of wisdom on her shoulder. It can talk about anything to do with courts. If that's the case, if we're going through anything in the courts at the minute, a fair and just outcome will be given. But this card, actually, justice refers to a Libran. So there may be a Libran around at the moment. And actually, I didn't mention the Chariot. Actually, it talks of a Cancerian. So there may be a Cancerian around too at the minute. And we did have the Gemini as well, didn't we? So, it does speak of a Libra. And it does speak about having balance within all aspects of the situation and speaking our truths in a situation. Having wisdom to know when to speak our truths, when not to, and when to have balance and when not to. Not that we never don't need balance, but when balance is important. So a just and legal, a just and righteous end to a situation, or verdict on a situation. Now, as I say earlier, I will not go back through the cards to pull out everything I can find. I'm just going to pull off what's initially jumps in my head, and if you do want to get into any more detail regarding things, just to get in touch with me. Okay, so maybe message from Spirit. It's now time to lay down all the negative self-talk, all the letting people walk all over you, all of the feelings of being stabbed in the back. You know, if it hasn't been right and you haven't been treated right, it's the time now to stand up, state your truth in the matter, and leave all this behind. It's a time of growth and possibilities. By leaving all this behind, we can see the possibilities ahead. We may need to take a little bit of time to ask ourselves where these possibilities go, and it may be we have to look at our emotions and how we emotionally handle things, or even the counsel that we seek may be from a water sign. The water signs are the most psychic of the signs. So it could be a fact that we're looking, there's someone close to us who can help us in that path forward. Maybe we're seeking counsel from them. If not, do not look at potentials and possibilities in front of us without consulting our emotions and how it makes us feel to move forward on that path. This also could resonate in the fact that, all this hurt, are we still being too emotional about it? I would have expected the Queen to have been upside down if that was the case and our emotions running away with us. But, coming to a realisation, looking at our emotions but not letting them overwhelm us, to clearing out all the old bad energy, the put down energy, the disrespect energy that has surrounded us in the past, and walking away, making a new start and looking at the new possibilities available. In our physical, we could have a Gemini around us at this time, but we have got choices to make on something. And It could be choices regarding us feeling bored and stagnant in our emotions, not seeing another offer. And actually I've got my finger right over the fourth cup there, because usually in the other tarots you see a focus on 3 cups in front and not seeing one that's being offered behind. So maybe we are focusing too much on the boredom and dissatisfaction in life, and it's now time to make that choice. And as I said, think about this choice. It's not something to rush into, but that choice may lead us out of these choppy emotional waters and into clearer, more stable emotional state. Our heart says the completion of a cycle. We've finished something and we're ready to start again anew. We're ready to put the steps down for something new and a new chapter in our lives. The heart says we must give as much as we receive, and we must receive as much as we give. You cannot just give to something and expect the same back. If you're not getting the same back, that's not where you're supposed to be. But there's a new start where there's an equal exchange. If the lovers is referring to a new relationship, this relationship and this new start with the world is a good relationship. It's an equal exchange of energy, which can lead to growth by the energies of one or more persons working together. 2 or more, I should say. The soul wants us to be aware that I've popped them the wrong way. Getting ourselves into an alignment, a good balance of our yin and yang energies, gives us a wholeness where we can move forward on our path and make progress. The appreciation of another regarding our passions can lead to growth and success, and there's a fair outcome. Justice speaks about if we've been fair and just in the past, then we'll get a fair and just decision at the end. So things balancing out and being fair and just by the end of the month. 1, 2, we have 4 major arcanas. The major arcanas are things we can't control. They are situations from the greater energy. In the major arcanas we have Gemini, Cancer and Libra. That may be important. All 3 energies actually are very good ones. They're all positive energies. They're not talking of the negative aspects that could come in and we have to face. We have 2 cups, 2 emotional cards. One regarding getting in touch with our emotions but being in control of them, and one regarding some boredom or dissatisfaction we have about something at the minute, or missing an opportunity that is sat there waiting for us. We have 1, 2, We have 3 wands in the reading. So we may have a passionate new start, or we've found a passion for something. We want to follow a passion or build on a passion in the month of April. And then we have 1, 2, 3 pentacles, including our overall energy of the month. So in general, which is looking at actually things around us in our environment, you know, a lot of opportunities, but being able to juggle them all, giving and receiving in equal amounts, and a building of something with somebody else, or the help of somebody else, or you being generous and helping somebody else. So there could be a little bit of focus, more focus on a career or a passion, being aware of our emotions, and sword wise we have only the 10 of swords here at the very beginning, and all of this pain and this bad feeling has already gone. We've already actually gone through the emotional part of it all. We just have to realise we don't have to carry it forever. We need to put it down anyway to start a new cycle. So it's clearing out all that hasn't served us, all that has treated us badly or wrongly in the past, all the situations we've let ourselves get in where we've ended up getting hurt or misused, and walking away. With that, Virgo, I want to say I hope you have a good April. And as I say, if there's anything that you want to look into more, don't hesitate to contact me. Take care. See you soon.